Okay, before we get started, can I check other people's mics? Ms. Spohr, can we do a mic check with you?
Hello?
Good. And Ms. Ho?
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Office of Tax Appeals. My name is Judge Teresa Stanley, and this hearing is for the appeal of Spohr. A hearing reporter, Ms. Rodriguez, is present and reporting the hearing verbatim. To ensure that we have an accurate record, we ask that people speak one at a time, don't interrupt each other, so that we can have a clean record. After the hearing, Ms. Rodriguez will produce the official hearing transcript, which will be available on the Office of Tax Appeals website. And as a reminder, the Office of Tax Appeals is not a court. We are an independent appeals body, which is staffed by subject matter experts, and we are independent of any tax agency, including the Franchise Tax Board. Ms. Rodriguez, are you ready to go on the record? Okay. So we're going on the record in the appeal of Spohr. Office of Tax Appeals, case number 240817285. The date is February 18th, 2026, and the time is 9:34 a.m. The hearing is being held in Sacramento, California, and is being heard under the small case procedure, so I will be the ALJ, the administrative law judge, who will decide this matter. I'm going to ask the parties to identify themselves, starting with appellant, please.
Oh. Good morning, I'm Linda Spohr.
Thank you. And Franchise Tax Board?
Good morning. This is Vivian Ho, along with my co-counsel Brad Cotino for the Franchise Tax Board.
Okay. In the minutes and orders, the issue that we said that remained to be decided in this appeal is whether appellants have established a basis to waive or abate interest. Ms. Ho, can you please put on the record FTB's current position on interest?
Yes. Upon further review, FTB has revised its position. FTB's position for interest during the period of November 19, 2022 to September 15, 2023, FTB's position is that interest is suspended during this period under Revenue and Taxation Code 19116. Computations are not currently available, but will be provided at a later point.
Okay. So the issue then is to whether or not there's a basis to waive additional interest in addition to what the Franchise Tax Board has conceded. Do you agree that that's the sole issue here today, Ms. Spohr?
No.
Okay, can you tell me what you think is at issue still?
The reason I filed the amendment was, or the appeal was, they stated they didn't accept my amended return. My original taxpayer is deceased, and she did a lot of mistakes, and I immediately had it amended. And because of COVID, I guess the Franchise Tax Board didn't see the transcripts, but I have proof on the amendment that the original overpayment was paid to me in the amount that we settled on. So the reason I filed the appeal was because they sent me a letter saying they didn't accept my amended return. So I had to prove that it was accepted.
Okay, and that in the minutes and orders, we did list the agreements of the parties to date without the additional interest that has been waived as of this morning.
They don't have an amount. I'm sorry.
I know they don't have an amount, but just let me go over the agreements then and see if you agree that there's only that one remaining issue. Because according to my notes, appellants are liable for additional tax of $26.34, which was, I believe, in your amended return, right?
1,100 was from the overpayment that
Mhm.
the original tax that was filed, that was mistakenly done. And then the 1,400 that was due for the amended one.
Okay, so you are still in agreement that you are liable for $2,634,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
And that amount includes an early withdrawal penalty of $375.
Yes.
Reduced on appeal from $625, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And that the Franchise Tax Board is agreeing to abate the accuracy-related penalty and late filing penalty. You're still in agreement with them relieving you of penalties, I assume?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so the only remaining issue that I have is the interest. And so,
Doing this right. Just from the beginning of the appeal, I didn't think it was fair that the interest, because it took so long to get back to me, and
well, you can present your case in a minute.
Okay.
We're just trying to narrow down what we're going to talk about today, what you're going to spend your time talking about.
Okay.
Okay? Ms. Ho, do you agree with the issue as stated?
Yes.
And does the Franchise Tax Board still agree to the stipulations that were in the minutes and orders?
Yes, the Franchise Tax Board's position remains the same regarding the stipulation.
Okay. All right, and for exhibits, we have appellants submitted exhibits 1 through 3. Franchise Tax Board did not object to the admissibility of these exhibits, and they're admitted into evidence. Ms. Spohr, staff has said that you brought something. Is it something that you wanted to present or use in your own presentation?
yes, it was just information that in the amended return, it did include the past $1,100.
So you're going to use that in your statement when you make your presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Appellants did submit 3 additional exhibits by the February 3rd, 2026 deadline. There's a October 31st, 2023 letter from appellants to FTB explaining the amendments. There is a March 8th, 2024 letter from the IRS to appellants, and a March 19, 2024 letter from the IRS to appellants. So 2 separate letters from the IRS to appellants. Ms. Ho, have you had a chance to review those documents?
Yes, and no objections.
Okay. So the Franchise Tax Board doesn't object. I'm going to mark those exhibits 4 through 6, and they are admitted into evidence without objection. Franchise Tax Board submitted exhibits A through L. Appellants did not object to the admissibility of those exhibits, so they are also admitted into evidence. Ms. Spohr, you indicated that, and by your presence here, it appears you're the only witness. So can I ask you to raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So you requested 15 minutes for your presentation, and you can proceed when you're ready.
Okay. Like I said before, it was we withdrew money from our 401k that wasn't correctly done. We amended it right away, but had a hard time getting back from the IRS during COVID. When I received the FTB account saying that we owed all this money, failure to file, all this stuff, I sent in them to the amended return, and that where everything was fixed, and they denied it. So Then I appealed it to prove that they did accept it. I was in contact with Mrs. Vo? Yeah. I don't know if that's her last name. And we came to the conclusion that I owed the overpayment of tax. And I wasn't aware that if you overpaid, that was due immediately. The $26.84. Well, when they told me that they didn't approve it and I filed the appeal, we agreed on the amount. But I since found in the amendment it had the $11.85 and the $14.13 included. So I didn't think it was fair that in appeal that they would charge an extra amount because it took so long to get back to me. That's my... I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you just fine, and Ms. Rodriguez can hear you.
Because the light keeps going on and off. So.
Yeah, it should be just one push to turn it green, and then one push to turn it off.
Okay.
Mine is being a little bit weird this morning, too, so
My green
I
light's
get it.
staying on.
All right, Ms. Ho, do you have any questions for Ms. Spohr?
No questions, thank you.
Okay, so the Franchise Tax Board requested 10 minutes for its presentation, and Ms. Ho, you can proceed when you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Vivian Ho. I, along with my co-counsel, Brad Coatino, represent respondent, the Franchise Tax Board. The issue presented before you today is whether appellants establish grounds for the payment of interest for the 2018 taxable year. Appellants are in agreement that they underreported and therefore underpaid their 2018 tax liability by the due date of April 15, 2019. As appellants did not fully satisfy their tax liability by the due date for payment, FTB properly imposed interest. As held in the Presidential Opinion of Appeal of Moore, imposition of interest is mandatory. It is not a penalty, but it is compensation for a taxpayer's use of money when it should have been paid to the state. To obtain relief from interest, a taxpayer must qualify under one of the waiver provisions. Appellants have not established that they qualify for waiver of interest. Firstly, appellants have not established that there was unreasonable error or delay in FTB's handling of their case pursuant to Revenue and Taxation Code Section 19104. FTB may abate interest under this provision if interest of a proposed deficiency is attributed to an unreasonable error or delay by an officer or employee of FTB in performing a ministerial or managerial act, and which occurred after FTB contacted the taxpayer in writing after the proposed deficiency was issued. Waiver under this provision also requires that no significant aspect of the error or delay is attributable to the taxpayer. The OTA's jurisdiction over FTB's failure to abate interest is limited to whether FTB abused its discretion in denying interest abatement. To show an abuse of discretion, a taxpayer must establish that in refusing to abate interest, FTB exercised its discretion arbitrarily, capriciously, or without sound basis in fact or law. Appellants have not demonstrated, and the record does not reveal any error or delay in FDB's performance of any ministerial or managerial act for tax year at issue. Instead, the record shows that after issuing the proposed assessment, FDB handled appellant's correspondence in a reasonable time frame given FDB's workload constraints. Moreover, interest abatement based on unreasonable delay or error requires that no significant aspect of the error or delay be attributable to the taxpayer. Here, appellants failed to report the federal adjustment prior to being issued the proposed assessment and incorrectly calculated their tax liability on their amended return submitted in response to the proposed assessment. As such, if there were delays, it is significantly attributable to appellants, and appellants have not established basis for abatement under this provision. Regarding the second statutory provision, the OTA does not have jurisdiction over Revenue and Taxation Code, Section 19112, relating to extreme financial hardship. Lastly, Revenue and Taxation Code Section 21012 also does not apply, as FDB has not provided any written advice to appellants. As such, FDB respectfully requests that its determination be sustained. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ho. Excuse me. Ms. Spohr, I saw that you were disagreeing with some of what Ms. Ho said. You have 5 minutes to make any closing remarks or rebuttal to what the Franchise Tax Board presented.
Thank you. The reason for their denial of abating the interest when we were in appeal states that we incorrectly did the amended return. And I have proof right here in the amended return that they included the original 1185 that was given to me in 2019 and the new 1413. That this was all sent to them in the original amended return. So I have proof of that the correct amount, like I said, when it first was, my taxes were first done on time, she did it incorrectly and gave us a refund of 1185. This 1185 is included in the 1413 that we got opposed for taking out early withdrawal of our 401k money. I'd like to state that all of this is because of taking a loan from our own retirement to buy a house, and because of my tax preparer not filing it correctly. We understand we owe the amount, but me having to prove that the amended return was actually accepted by the IRS, I don't believe I should owe extra interest during that time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Spohr. So that concludes the hearing in appeal of Spohr, and we're off the record. I want to thank you for coming and participating today, both parties. And I will issue a written opinion within 100 days. The Office of Tax Appeals is now in recess, and the next appeal is going to begin in approximately 15 minutes.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
During this whole time, I've tried to pay this amount, and Franchise Tax Board would said there's no amount due. It would just be sent back to me. Is there any way I could just pay it? So
you can talk to Ms. Ho and Mr. Catino, and
On that.
they can advise you about that. I don't know about their payment processes, but the hearing's concluded, so you guys can talk amongst yourselves about that. Okay?
We can talk.